In this video, we're going to explore more the legend arrays. So far we did all kind of crazy stuff here, or at least some exciting stuff. We created our legend, we figured out how to push it left to right, and etc, etc. We even figured out how we can remove or create some fancy effects on our lines and how to put them on specific lines itself. And that's all nice. And also how to remove the grid lines, or in ChartJS 3 we don't call them grid lines anymore, they are the grid. However, this is all nice, but I want to focus more on a solid foundation, and I believe this is what you absolutely need to know if you want to later on create these kind of effects, your legends here. This is very, very important, because ChartJS, the current legend here, will not be very supportive in your structuring. So how can we do this in that case? Or more specifically, let's go and figure out the basics. So once you start to know this part, this is the legend arrays. Understanding how to extract values from a legend. Alright, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to change this so that the legend here will become red. That's what we're going to do first. So you can see here, we have the background color, and I'll just make this one all red. And if you've seen my other videos, these are all connected to each other, so I highly recommend to check out my other videos. So we make this red, and then, as you can see, now it's starting to pulse green instead of red, because it's solid is red. Alright, and of course you can see here our revenue red here, this is the line here, fair enough. So let's start and work with arrays where we can get a console log, and with the console log we will want to pinpoint or extract certain values. So if you've seen this part here, you might have a better understanding how to do it. So let me show you exactly what we're going to do now. Alright, what I want to do here is, imagine I want to get a specific value. Well, what we can do is we add a new text here below with the specific legend values. So what we're going to do here is basically, I'm going to open up, this is my Bootstrap design here. I prefer to use Bootstrap 5. Of course, you can use anything you want, doesn't matter so much. So what we will be doing is we will create here a simple button, and I will do it just here below, so it will not, well, or at least it will be visible for you, because here you can see it's getting too many buttons here. So I will just make here well, not a button, but probably a paragraph. And this paragraph, we will put in the values that we want to put in, or that we want to show. So in this case, I'll be just doing a very simple one. I will just say legend, if I'm not mistaken, this is the revenue, alright, legend 2021, that's the ID name, alright. And in here, test, we will start to insert the values that we want for revenue 2021. Fair enough. So let's go and go back here. And in here, we can do the following. So what we have here is, you can see the structure here. If you follow my other videos, you will understand this. And if you don't worry at all. I'm going to show you exactly. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a new constant. And this constant will cover the legend ID name of 2021. So I'll just say like this. Oh, that's not allowed, of course. So we say this equals document get element by ID. Alright, so what did we do here, just to make sure that we explain that as well. So right now we connected HTML with ChartJS, or sorry, not with ChartJS, with JavaScript. So the JavaScript understands that there's a connection between this specific ID, or this element, the element with the ID name of legend-2021, which is now this, alright? So that's very important to understand. So basically this is a communication, because HTML and JavaScript are two different languages. So now we have a connection so they can understand each other. So basically this is our translator. So now we have translated it or connected it. What are we going to do here? Well, the first thing what I want to do here is first get the values out of it. So how do we get this color red here, for example? So what we can do is this, or to understand this, we have to go here. We have the my chart. This is the most important part, legends, but also in ChartJS, understanding array structures is very, very essential. So my chart, and from my chart, we're going to data, and then we go to data set. But however, here the data set is an array. This is the first array, or the first what do you call it, element. Sorry, the first element, that's the right term. But the first element is element number 0, or the first element has an index number of 0. All right, very important to remember this. So this is our second element, and it starts all here until these brackets here. This is the second element, and the second element has an index number of 1. So what I'm going to do is I just put it in here so you will understand this. Remember, arrays are 0-based numbering, meaning that the index starts at 0, but if you explain to someone else, this would be element 1. You cannot say to a person, well, you have to check element 0. Doesn't make sense. It's the first element, not the 0th element. Alright, so much for the logic of that one. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to get my chart, because this is our constant. My chart dot. Where we're going then is to the data, and from data we go to data sets, and then we have to select the correct data set. So we go data dot data sets dot. Oh, sorry, which number or which index number? Well, in our case we want this here. So this is index number 1, which is the second element in the array. And then where we're going is we're going to get the color. So what do we want to extract, the background color or the border color? In our case, border color is far more preferred because this is a line chart and it doesn't really have a background color. Or at least the filler here below is transparent, or it's not non-existent in our case. Alright? So we say here, we say border color. Go down here, border color. Alright? So now we have this here. Now we have the border color. What we want to do here first is to create a console log to just make sure that we have this visible. Let's save this, refresh here. Nothing happens here. Let's open up our developer tab. And once we open up a developer tab, you can see here we get the array and you get the value of red. Alright, that is exactly what I want. Fair enough. So now we're done here. Well, this works. So what we want to do now is we're going to say here, we get this, dot, and then we're going to get the text, so inner text. Don't use HTML, inner HTML. Inner HTML appears to be not that secure, so it's not recommended. Unless you have an understanding what you're doing with inner HTML. Alright, and then we get this, we copy all of this, put it in here, semicolon, save. Refresh. Now, as you can see, we have red here. That's beautiful. So that's nice. But you say, well, wait a minute. This is red, but I would like to prefer also maybe the color red, or at least the text here matching. Fair enough. We're going to match the text. So we're going to match the text as well. So how do we get the specific text included here? Well, what we can do is the following as well. We're going to look here back. And what is the text? Well, the text is under the category revenue, or the revenue 2021 is under the segment of label, or the command label. So we need to extract the label. Instead of border color, we just put in label. That's it. So what we can do here is the following. We can just add it up here. I'll just copy this for now. And then just make a, oh wait, I don't copy this. I'll just say here, label. Let's save this. Refresh. Open up the developer tab. And you can see now we get the revenue. Fair enough. So now that works fine. And if you see here, this was first test. If you see, if I refresh, you pay a bit of attention, you see for a millisecond it is test, and after that it becomes red. Alright. So what we can do here is just to add this up together. We're going to add this up, but maybe want a space between here, so I'm going to concatenate them together. And then it's a plus again, and then we're going to put in our value here, red. Red, and this, there you are. Save this, refresh. Oh, sorry, this is in the console log, which is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure it was also in our inner HTML. So I'm going to copy this, remove this here. Fair enough. Just delete this one, and just delete that curly bracket. So if you're able to see it, and maybe if you're not, so let me make a enter. This is it. All right. So let's save this, refresh. And now we have our revenue red. So what happened now if I change this? Let's say we're not anymore red. I disagree with the red color. I would like to change this now to blue. Refresh. You can see it becomes blue. Alright, sorry, that's the background color. I don't want the background color, I want the border color. Blue. There you are. So if you would have here like this color like RGB, you will see it will create a RGB color. Let's say 255, 100, 100 dot. Oh wow, this is RGB, not RGBA. Sorry, RGB. All right. Save this. Did I put everything here? Yes, that's correct. Refresh, and then we get a color. And I'm not even certain what color we have, but you can see here the RGB value here. So this is basically how you can do it. And of course, you could change this. Maybe you say, well, I don't want this, or I want this to be a background color. Fair enough. Let's do that one. Let's do that final one. So then you have an understanding. Then we're getting very close to this design here already. You've probably figured out that now we're getting really close to that. So I'm going to say here legend, and then I'll say legend. What is that? This is style dot color. Remember, this is for text color equals, and then we're going to put in our text, which would be here the border color. So I'm going to just paste this in here. There we are. So once we did that, save this. We go back to our chart.js 3, refresh, and now you can see our border color is exactly as we wanted. Apparently it was a slightly orange red color. So let's change this to well, I'll make this 0, and then we're going to make this 150, so it will be green but also a bit bluish. So maybe it gets a green, blue, maybe purple. I have no idea. Let's refresh. What is our official color? Oh, alright, it's a bit of a cyan color, if I'm not mistaken, light blue, marine blue. Fair enough. And this is basically how we do this. So you can create now, and if you understand this part, probably this will be the very next video I will be making, where we're going to cover of these items here. We have to make a line, and then here dotted line, and then you have the text here. So I hope you enjoyed this, because this is the most important one. And maybe just for the sake of repetition, let me get something else here. So let's get another data set in here. So imagine we have another data set. What we want to do here is we're going to create another data set, and in this data set, well, I will just make it a console log. We're going to get the first data set, and just to make sure what we will get, say here 0, and then you will understand here exactly how this works. So we have the console log, and then I will console log one more time, and then I say number 1. Let's save this so you understand that we have the first if the index number 0, which is the first element. So this data set here will get green, and then after that it will get the RGB color of marine blue. Save, go back here, refresh. Now you can see here green, there we are, and marine blue. And this is basically how you can start to create your own HTML version of the legend. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This video is very, very important. If you don't understand, please go again. Please rehearse it. However, I think it's quite easy to grasp once you know how. But if you do have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel. And of course, maybe you want to learn even more about ChartJS, because there's so much more to learn about ChartJS. All these charts that you can make, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to learn more, check out my Udemy course. Click on the link below in the description box. You can find the Udemy course that covers everything about ChartJS. Alright, so that's it for now.